Welcome to the Creative Entrepreneurs Podcast, where it's all about turning your unique talents and perspectives into a viable business. And now, your host, Paris Hamilton.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Btweener episode. I'm your host, Paris Hamilton, and what I wanted to do on this Btweener episode is to read an article from a Boston Consulting Group perspective that is entitled Examining Brexit, What's Next? So the purpose of these Btweener episodes, I'll go ahead and explain because this is the first one, but I read a lot outside of work. So anytime that I feel as though I come across a piece of content or something I hear that I feel will be relevant for you all as entrepreneurs and business owners, then I'll go ahead and make a short episode that's not really a long or full-length episode, but it's just something that I want to mention very briefly in between episodes. So that's what I'm going to do here. I already told you that I'm going to read this Boston Consulting Group Perspectives article. Then I'll give you some of my thoughts at the very end. So what's in this article? The article covers what impact will Brexit have on companies and industries. Although there are some unknowns, it seems clear that a protracted period of uncertainty and volatility is likely. Now, business leaders can tackle the upheaval by focusing on a scenario-based approach to planning, one that models multiple outcomes, and a renewed strategic focus on flexibility, adaptability, and resilience is the key. So I'll go ahead and start reading the article, which was published June 24, 2016 by the Boston Consulting Group. Business leaders are asking what impact Brexit will have on companies and industries. Here's what we know so far, including possible economic consequences and related implications, as well as a checklist of what leaders should be doing right now. Although some details about the process of the UK's exit from the European Union remain foggy, one thing is clear. Mastering strategy amidst uncertainty will be more important than ever. So what exactly happened? The UK voted by a 3.8% point margin to leave the European Union. What is likely to happen next? The UK must initiate exit from the European Union by triggering Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty, but the arrangements are unclear. Through the negotiations, the UK may seek to join the EEA, which is European Economic Area, or the EFTA, European Free Trade Area, or negotiate separate free trade agreements. It will likely take several years to negotiate the exit and create new agreements, implying that although little will change immediately, a protracted period of economic uncertainty is highly likely. What are the likely economic consequences? The majority of economists believe that the net economic impact on the UK will be negative, in the range of 3 to 8 percentage points of GDP. The UK represents only 3% of world trade, and it is far from guaranteed that it will. The UK represents 3% of world trade, and it is far from guaranteed that it will be able to recreate that level of trade with the European Union and beyond, and other benefits of European Union membership. In addition, the European Union may seek to discourage further departures by not easily negotiating a favorable exit. Knock-on effects could make the impact bigger. These impact forecasts appear to be vindicated by the immediate reactions of stocks and currency markets, which are highly volatile in early trading. A protracted period of uncertainty and volatility seems very likely on many dimensions, including on growth, trade, investment, interest rates, and financial markets, not to mention the impact on immigration and legal arrangements. What are the plausible knock-on implications? One, political uncertainty. Then, constitutional questions in the UK. Given the discrepancies in the votes of different regions, such as Scotland, the majority of whose voters wanted to remain in the European Union. The possibility of other European Union countries wanting to follow in the UK's footsteps. An acceleration of the politics of discontent and protectionism, which are already evident in the United States and elsewhere, potentially adding to a further slowdown on economic growth and trade and further fueling economic uncertainty. How to think about industry and company level implications. The dependence of each sector and company on UK and European Union production, demand and trade, global trade, and regulation and transfers from the European Union, for example, R&D subsidies, are very different. Therefore, each company needs to carry out, or now take to the next level, its own specific impact analysis. It is impossible to forecast with confidence since exit terms, timing, and knock-on implications are uncertain. Therefore, we recommend a scenario-based approach to planning, one that models multiple outcomes. Plausible scenarios may include impacts under, for example, higher low growth, higher low trade, and faster slow resolution of political uncertainty in both the UK and beyond. Inform employees and stakeholders of the industry and company-specific facts such as liquidity, stability of exiting trading agreements, and more. Create confidence by showing that issues are being carefully considered. Define the process. Confirm that this will take time. Emphasize that little is likely to change in the short term in legal, employment, and trading arrangements. Carry out detailed industry and company assessments. Run scenarios. Design contingencies and reflect results in strategies for growth, geographic footprint, global supply chain, and risk strategies. Don't let a communication vacuum appear. Keep talking about progress against goals. Longer term, how do business dynamics change under uncertain conditions in uncharted territories? A renewed emphasis on strategy under uncertainty with a focus on flexibility, adaptiveness, and resilience. An emphasis on economic and political analysis. Business is embedded in and highly sensitive to macro and political dynamics. Macroeconomic and political analysis will be critical. New innovation and growth strategy. Brexit comes on top of depressed growth rate prospects, and the emphasis should be on proactively creating growth options, not merely participating in markets. So with that, that was the article from Boston Consulting Group. The reason I wanted to read that article was because the Brexit decision does and will have some type of impact on businesses. So from a entrepreneur or a business consulting or business coaching or business analyst type of point of view, this information is going to be helpful for you when making decisions or analyzing the breakdown of Brexit. So, but the overall conclusion that you should kind of take away from this is that nobody really knows whether or not countries will begin to break away from the European Union. Like the continual impact, the ripple effects of this decision. Nobody knows what the major macroeconomic effect on companies will be. So everything is right now just speculation until more things happen. And the impact on the banking system has yet to still be understood, but there likely will be some type of impact, as you can see from different reports and analyst reports and investor reports. The value of the pound is likely, well, it is getting cheaper, but that means the British exports will also get cheaper, which would be a positive thing for them. But on the flip side, imports will get much more expensive. If there does become a crisis, the value of the dollar could potentially rise in the future, but nobody really knows. Like, there is an equal chance that precious metals like gold will also increase in value in the future. So we'll see what happens as things play out, especially with how the negotiations go with the UK leaving the European Union. So there's a lot of speculation out there, but nobody really knows what's going to happen to things. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. So just take things that you hear with a grain of salt, but make sure that you take in all the information before you make any major or drastic business decisions. In the short term, the Brexit likely won't have a major impact on a lot of businesses, but in the long term, it is a high likelihood that it will. So your business may or may not even be impacted, but learn what you can about the decision, stay informed, and I hope you enjoyed this Btweener episode. I also hope that you were able to leave a comment on what your thoughts are over this decision and what you thought about this particular Btweener episode. Leave a comment on the website, and I'll look forward to having you with me on the next full episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Creative Entrepreneurs Podcast. Join us next time for more great insights. And don't forget to subscribe to the email list to get the latest information and updates.